Tonight, I think we're going to kind of get this going here. Coach Winters has invited me to participate. I'm Rick Bloom. I do some of the PA stuff for football, soccer, and basketball. So natural segue into getting ready for the basketball season, which I'm sure you guys are all fired up for. So this is the 2018 roundtable, and we got most everybody here, 9 out of 14, I think, at last count. So I think what we're going to do is just kind of go around the table first. If you can introduce yourself and tell us who you coach, we'll go around one time and then I'll ask a few questions if that's okay.
Anthony Jones from Kenmore, Garfield, and Akron.
Okay.
Damaris Winters, Brush High School.
I'm Joel Wolf from Riverside High School.
Kenesha Coward from Maple Heights High School.
Tim McMahon from Laurel School.
Kevin McNamara, Trinity High School.
I'm Paul Forrest from Eastlake North.
Lisa Stapp, Cornerstone Christian Academy.
I'm Matt Lucky from Lutheran East.
All right, so Coach has given me some notes. I tried to do a little digging myself, a little research. There's not a ton out there yet in the News Herald or PP. I think I'm a little ahead of the curve, but I tried to piece together some things. So if I make an error, try to forgive me and correct me if you can, okay? And we'll get things rolling here. But so let's start off with Yantami Jones of Akron Kenmore, the Rams, right? The home of the Rams.
Yes.
And our furthest participant tonight, coming all the way up here, so thanks for doing that. I think one of the first things I wanted to ask you was, do you see any difference in your experience between, you'll be the only team participating from outside the greater Cleveland area, any differences in Akron basketball versus Cleveland, the styles of play or anything along those lines?
I think that both groups are athletic, very athletic, so that plays a part. Also, we work hard, and I've seen a lot of Cleveland teams work hard as well. And I think we have the same, pretty much the same kind of basketball program.
Okay. Okay. Can you give us a little review of how you guys finished last year and maybe what your take?
Yes, last year we came in second in our league. We made our championship game. I got sick last year in December. Doctors threw the C word at me, stage 4, but God is healing me. My girls came and they played that championship game. When I came back, they played so hard and we almost won the game. And I was very proud of them. I lost 3 seniors. I have 1 senior this year. And the team that played Saturday after a week of practice showed me that they are ready to go.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great.
They did.
All right, looking forward to it. Coach Winters, coming off a 500 season, finished 3rd in the Western Reserve Conference. You too, like Coach Jones, I think you've lost some seniors, so you're going to have some people step up from some of the underclasses, if you will. So I think you're looking at maybe a good, young, fast, athletic team. How do you preview your group as you come into the season?
I think you said it, a good, young, talented, fast, athletic team. But we just need to understand the game. We need to understand the game. We need to limit our mistakes. We need to execute at times, or all the time actually. We can't just get up and down every time. We have to learn that. We'll have to get some half-court execution on the offensive end. And we have to improve better. We have to improve on defense. Experience will be the key for us. As far as we have 4 kids that do have varsity experience, the other 11 don't. So we have to lean on those 4 kids, being Jenna Perry, Talia Jeter, Quintea Ali, and Delia Johnson, for that leadership. And I think they can do it.
Now, I think any of you coaches would say, the goal is to win the conference and win as many games as you can. Is there any thought, though, to when you have such a young group, are you torn a little bit between, do we play the seniors all the time? Do we keep an eye on what's coming up in years to come and try to blend in some of the younger kids? How do you handle sort of a transition year? It's not a rebuilding year, I don't think, but how do you make sure that everybody's getting some time for future seasons as well?
That's a great question. We'll play a lot of good young players off the bench. And actually, we have a really, really good acquisition who came over in Kayla White. She'll get the point guard duties for us from here probably until she's done here. So she'll learn on the job how to play big time high school basketball. And she's a very, very good player. So she'll be thrown in the fire right away, along with those other sophomores and freshmen that we do have. They're going to get a lot of time. We press a lot. One thing about this season for us, we can press all game now. Our defense won't go down. Actually, our defense will rise. It will get better as I put those younger, more athletic, fast kids in. And we won't get tired as much because we can continue to substitute. So they'll get a lot of time. And we're looking forward to it here, Brush.
Okay. Coach Wolf with the Beavers having a nice football season too, by the way, so I'm sure the excitement's going on with the school over there.
That's for sure.
Mathematics guru, from what I've been able to ascertain from poking around a little bit out there.
Sure.
Okay. So I know that you went to Riverside yourself, right?
That is correct.
So do you feel any extra pressure coming back as a coach of your alma mater? I mean, is it sometimes, is it a good thing? Is it sometimes better to coach at a different school?
I don't feel any pressure coming back. I mean, I've been in that building for so long now that, you know, it's my home.
Okay.
That's where I belong, and no, I don't feel any extra pressure there at all. No, I don't.
Okay. What are your thoughts on competing for the Western Reserve Conference title this year? What do you guys have to do? What do you have to see happen?
Well, seeing as how we graduated 8 seniors, and we have basically 1 player with varsity experience, it will be a journey for sure. You know, we're going to be young, and Damaris was saying how he's young and athletic, but they need to learn the game a little bit more. I feel like my girls, they kind of get the game. They understand the game, but the problem is they're not very athletic.
Right.
You know, so it's a give and take type thing, and we're looking forward to it. We've got a freshman that I'm really looking forward to seeing what she can do this year, and we got a sophomore that's pretty good, and we got a bunch of juniors that are gonna, you know, pitch in, and so it'll be a journey for sure. But we'll see where it goes, and hopefully we'll make some progress as the year goes.
Okay. One thing that strikes me for sure, you said 8 seniors graduated, I think?
Yes.
So we all know how important it is to have that senior leadership on teams. And how do you think you're going to cultivate that when so many have left the building? Are the juniors ready to step up into those roles, those leadership roles?
Well, yes, they do. We do have 3 seniors back this year, and one of them will get significant playing time.
Okay.
And she's playing the mom role right now, so she's kind of like, you know, taking everybody under her wing and stuff. And it's fine, it's good. But the juniors, some of the juniors are being a little bit more vocal leaders, basketball-wise, which is a good thing too. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
We'll get it covered.
Okay, Coach Coward with the also great football season, right? I mean, you guys
We
are
play
so-
each other.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Saw that today. Actually.
Yeah, we play each other. It's pretty
Okay.
awesome.
So last year, and I did a little poking around, last year was a pretty rough first year, correct?
Yeah.
But from what I understand, you have a very athletic, multi-talented team, a lot of kids playing multiple sports on your roster this year. How do you see things as you get ready for game 1 this year?
Like these 2 coaches said, I think the biggest thing is the girls actually understanding the game of basketball. Our basketball IQ is still kind of developing. Last year we graduated 2 seniors, one that started, the other one was a senior. She played a little bit, mostly JV, her junior year. This year I have 4 seniors, 2 of them which started, and the rest are juniors and a couple of sophomores. It's just that point of we're athletic, we're still learning how to be disciplined. So the basic fundamentals are something that they were missing. So we're still in that rebuilding period because the previous year, when they were freshmen, the seniors, we graduated 7 seniors, and they didn't play. So they never had, there was that gap of playing. So right now, we're just trying to get them acquainted of what the expectations are. And like you said, defense, we finally have a team that can come 5 on, 5 off. And so we're able now, last year we were able to compete. Now we want to be able to compete and finish the games. Because a lot of the games we lost were because we were just inexperienced varsity players.
Any particular goals or milestones that you're looking for to know that your group is headed in the right direction?
I'm excited about coming back in the league. The previous year we tied with Lake Erie League with Bedford. Last year we actually lost the league. We didn't even, I think we finished way last, second to last. So this year I'm pretty sure that we can compete and win a lot more games than we did last year. So that's my goal right now, is to get them running for the conference.
Okay. All right. Of the Laurel Gators, Coach McMahon, welcome. fifth year, I believe?
Fifth
If
year.
I got that correct? Okay. So I was reading an article a while back, and it says when you took over the program, and I hope I'm phrasing this right, one of the things you wanted to do was sort of have a bigger footprint for the Laurel Gator team and maybe be able to attract more than just, close to the neighborhood where Laurel is. Have you been able to succeed with that, and how has that journey been as you've gone through these 5 years?
Yeah, I was fortunate to walk into a pretty good team. They were 10-12 this season before I got there, but they had their main kid banged up for most of the time. So I walked into a team that had a post that went on to play at Yale, and I had a senior guard who was the all-time leading scorer. So I got a really fertile ground to kind of build off of, and from there we've been able to kind of expand out of Shaker Heights and into Lake County and Cuyahoga County, and I feel like we've definitely increased our footprint.
What are some of the traits that would categorize the teams you coach, whether it's Laurel or in the past? What do you like to see out of your players?
Usually I have better players, poor coaching. That's been the that's been the recipe for success.
Okay.
The past couple of years. We're very close. We have a good time. Like I tell them, like, this is my fun time. So I don't want them to take it too seriously. It's a long season. The winter, we start in the summer, but we start in October and we go into March. And if you're still playing in March, you're doing something good. So we try and work hard and have fun at the same time.
Can you guys go deep this year? I mean, do you foresee that March playing ability?
Yeah, so we've been fortunate enough to play in March the last 3 years, and I mean, we're coming off a 22-3 season and bringing 4 starters back, so we like the way we look this year.
I'd vote yes, but that's just me. All right, thank you, Coach. And now we move on to Coach McNamara of the Trinity Trojans, correct? I've got you down for year 4, does that sound right? You guys have a nice young nucleus of talent. One of the things I saw is that you also coached at Mayfield, correct?
Correct.
So a question for me is there a big difference coaching public school versus parochial school, or is basketball and it's all about the skills and teaching those?
I'm not sure there's much of a difference. I was kind of just brought in as a Band-Aid over at Mayfield for a friend of mine who's in the administrative offices there. And maybe the desire of girls who are dedicated to play basketball differ from program to program based upon how serious a school may take it, a coach may ask them to take it. So I don't think there's a real difference in player, probably just more of the coach or the approach of the program.
Okay. How are things looking for you guys this year? Are you optimistic as we approach the beginning of this, or?
Yeah, I mean, just I'm sure like all of us are, we have our certain reservations about what we need to improve on. But for us, we started 4 freshmen in the districts last year. I anticipate opening night to start 2 freshmen, 2 sophomore, and 1 junior. The junior is a 6'1" transfer from Kenston, so who isn't a skilled basketball player, but as we project ourselves and our goals down the road, we've got to match up with some height, and that's one of the ways we're going to do it.
Okay. All right, and now we've got Coach Force of the Eastlake North Rangers. Coach since 2008, roughly. 140 plus wins, so the success is there with the program. How do you maintain the level, and last year, of course, you won the Western Reserve Conference.
We did.
So how do you maintain that? How do you bring that into the following year without there being any kind of letdown, maintaining that success rate?
I think it's difficult to maintain, but we always start. We've been fortunate in those 11 years to always have a freshman, a JV, and a varsity team. So all 3 levels, and a lot of consistency in our coaching staff, not having to turn over coaches and teach a new JV coach or a new freshman coach and varsity assistant. So we've been fortunate staff-wise to just be able to be consistent and then add some pieces, including the all-time leading scorer in Eastlake North history. Eastlake North has had some pretty good teams over the years, so it's quite an accomplishment. We lose a lot of points, a lot of statistics, a lot of minutes, a lot of great leaders. But I'm excited. We bring back a couple skilled kids, 2 returning starters, and Taylor Velitis and Destiny Leo, who I think is one of the better juniors in the area. And then we mix in a couple sophomores and some girls that were on a successful JV team last year. So I'm more concerned about leadership and chemistry at this point as opposed to what we can do on the court. I think we have a lot of girls that can contribute.
What's your take on the Western Reserve Conference? Do you see that being a battle in terms of, 3, 4, 5 teams going right down to the wire with this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it always is. I mean, I think there's strong coaching staffs, there's girls that know each other well from playing all the way back in 7th and 8th grade against each other, so you get some rivalries kind of going on, and it gets a little heated at times, but, we're excited about it. We know that, being 14-0 in the conference last year is something that other teams aren't going to forget, around the league, so that's something that we got to just embrace and know that we got to prepare hard every day.
Okay. And Coach, stop with Cornerstone Christian Academy. I'm getting my C's mixed up there. You actually are in a homecoming situation a little bit, right? You coached the Arcs back in the day.
Yes, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
Right out of college. Yeah.
all right, so welcome back to Brush.
Paul was about 5.
Yep.
Besides, he was.
Here.
Okay,
Busy, yeah.
and a lot of success over at Lake Catholic as well. And wow, 4-year starter, I think, for Cleveland State, right, back in the day, so that's awesome.
Long ago, yeah.
All right, and you guys too have had a lot of success as a program. District champs the last 2 seasons, made it to the state finals 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Again, that you've established that history of success.
Yeah.
How do you take that over? One season ends and you got to start all over again with the next group. Is it easy to roll over, or is it a brand new situation each year?
Well, each year obviously has its challenges. This year, actually, we're district champs 4 times.
Oh, okay.
But it's the turnover that can make things difficult. But I have 5 returning starters this year, coming off
Okay.
playing a brutal schedule last year, and they were 20-6. And we have a brutal schedule this year, but it's different listening to you talk and the questions you ask the panel. We're independent, so it's hard. There's no conference championship for us.
Right.
It's just about taking a step forward every day. And I've got some great players. I've got the Kuna twins. They're juniors that really set a tone for us with their passion and intensity. And our motto this year is passion, focus, finish, because last year we didn't play our best basketball in the last 2 games. We beat Kyle Guides in the district semis, playing average, beating them by 18, but average play. Al does a great job, so that was part of it. But we got Buckeye Central. They ended up going to state, but they upset us in Dalton. And we played better teams all season long, and we didn't take care of business when it mattered. So our kids have a little stone in their belly and a fire in their belly, and it's just fun to see the off-season work and to be where we're at, and we're looking forward to the schedule. But we're facing it with humility too, because last year we didn't finish.
As a coach, when that happens, when you maybe, I don't know if the word is underachieved, but didn't go as far as you thought you could take it, how does a coach approach that? Because you've got the physical talent,
Sure.
but something's not clicking maybe with the gelling or the chemistry, or how do you attack that?
It was, you gotta put the figure your way first, you have to. When you play teams that are so much better and you do better. And when it comes to the end, we definitely self-reflect as coaches. Just taking it day by day. Even my coach and I were just talking not yesterday at practice, but Friday at practice, is even at halftime of that game, we thought we were gonna win it. So there's a humility there that I think we wanna change, that when you do play a good schedule, you have early success, it doesn't matter what you do in that year, it matters what you do in March,
Right.
when you don't have the conference championship. And for whatever reason, we didn't come in focused that day. Maybe we took them lightly. I had to scout a report like I did every other game. Maybe my tone was different. Certainly, we know not to look past any opponent. And I hope that, that's reflective of the way we play this year. And I think we have a really good shot at doing some great things postseason.
So you said you're not affiliated with conference, so are there any games that you've circled on the calendar that are maybe extra special, something you're really...
Laurel twins against twins. The Theory twins and the Kuna twins, gonna be a really fun matchup. Obviously, the whole team in general,
Sure.
we have great players. Youngstown Ursuline was a great battle. We upset them last year. We're going to their place. I know St. Vincent, St. Mary's.
Okay.
I could go on. We have just a brutal schedule, and it's exciting.
It's going to make for some great basketball,
It sure
that's
should,
for
yeah.
sure. And now we turn to Coach Lucky, and is this your first year as the varsity head coach? But you do have JV experience at Lutheran, don't you?
JV boys.
Okay.
I've been with the boys the last couple of years, so.
So you're making the transition.
We're in week 3, yeah. Well, we lost our coach Grant Wilson, went over to Beechwood this summer. And so we hired a coach out of Richmond Heights, and she's got some personal stuff going on, so she stepped down literally 3 weeks ago. So I'm in week 3 working with the girls. So it's not where I thought I would be on whatever we're November 6th, but I'm having a blast.
So how do things look for you as you prepare? Are you gonna be very competitive? Is it a little bit?
I hope we're gonna be competitive. We're out of shape because they weren't conditioned for the last 3 months, so I'm just making them run a ton now. But they're great. We're experienced enough. We went to 2 years ago. I know they were. I'm a teacher, so I followed them the whole time. I know 2 years ago we were in the district final at D4. Then last year, because competitive balance, we were D2, and now we're back down to D3, which I think is where we belong. And so I hope to, remain competitive in the LEL and be competitive in the district. We're going to be mainly junior-led, and so, coming over from a boys program that's gone to Columbus 2 straight trips, I hope, I don't know that we'll make it to Columbus, but just to be competitive still will be fun.
So is there any difference in how you approach the game at the JV level versus the varsity level, or how you intend to?
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, JV is more about development, and varsity is more about competition. I mean, we're still developing definitely at the varsity level. Being at the JV level, you tend to be running someone else's stuff, and your goal is to get your players to the varsity. It's not necessarily winning this game. So a lot of times I'll pick battles, and I'll still probably pick those battles, about player development and developing character and those things. That's always what I did at the JV level, and so now, those things will carry over, but there's nowhere to move up to. You're stuck with me the whole year no matter what, so it'll be fun. It should be fun.
Well, it sounds like everybody's got their specific challenges. Some of them are the same in that you've got to replace a lot of senior leadership with the inexperienced types, but in any event, that's pretty much all that I had. Coach, did you have anything you wanted to add as far as questions and comments?
Just a comment. I want to thank everyone on the panel just for supporting us. I try to do this for not myself and not just for Brush, but for all of us, so that we can, as coaches and our programs and our girls, we can sort of put them out here and have them have what they deserve. Give them what they deserve as far as the media is concerned, as far as girls basketball is concerned. I think we're getting there as far as people being recognized, our girls being recognized, and this is just one small thing that I can do in order to get us there. So I thank you all for supporting me.
Thank you for having us.
One thing I like is I like to hear. I know you mentioned about the Theory Twins, but sometimes I like to hear from coaches some of the better individual players that their teams are gonna go against. Just some of the better players down in Akron and around this area. That when you think about your schedule, who might be somebody that jumps off. If anyone has.
You want to go right down the line maybe and just?
Sure. There's a young lady at Oakville High School, number 4, Javan Rogers. She's a junior, I believe. And she got Player of the Year last year as a sophomore. She's pretty good. She can handle the ball, run the game, keep under control. Can shoot it. She's a great player. Yeah.
For me, the Clooney twins over at Cornerstone will play them. For me, it's a juggernaut as far. All of us have pretty good schedules, pretty solid schedules. I know for me, it's right off the bat, Heights, like always. That's a rivalry for us here at Brush, other than Mayfield. That's the biggest one. No one has on green in here. Thank you. We go Heights, we go Beechwood, which is Grant Wilson's there now. He's a good coach. So we go Heights, Geneva, Beechwood, North, Chardon, right off. All 5 away games. So of course you got Destiny Leo there, who's an outstanding player who I think is just one of the class players in our conference. After that we'll follow with Cornerstone. I think 2 games down, so we'll have the Clooney twins. So those are 3 of the girls from our area that I think are some of the top better players.
Coach?
I agree with what was said so far. There's also Kinsel at Mayfield. She's a really good player. And so is Rock, was a nice ball handler for them as well. There's this girl named Perry at Brush that made 9 threes against us in the game last year. So we're gonna have to, focus on that a little bit. Again, the Destiny over at North, and there's a lot of good talent in the league for sure. That's what I'll speak for is the league, because that's our focus, so.
Coach Coward?
In our league alone, I think Heights is our biggest rivalry. They have a point guard, I can't think of her name, left-handed girl. And they have a really solid post player. Lorraine's a little scrappy and tough too. That's always a very, very physical game. And then again, we play Eastlake North and play North Bridgeville and Avon and Chardon as well and Kinston. So we're moving outside of the regular LEL conference, getting the girls ready for postseason play. Again, it's just, there's a lot of talented athletes in this conference or in the surrounding area. So I'm just looking forward to seeing my girls step up. That's what it's about. Who's going to step up to this game?
Coach McMahon?
There's a really nice player on Dalton, and her name evades me, Coach.
Geyser.
What's that?
Geyser.
So we get her right off the rip, and then we're down to Canton. We get Dalton, and we have Elyria Catholic on day 2, and these teams are just stocked full of players. Looking down the road, Colleen's sister, Molly Neitzel over at St. Joseph Academy is a nightmare. She screws up everything you try to do. She broke her back in the 3rd quarter last year. We're trying to get over the hump with St. Joseph Academy. We have them down 8, and this kid you trap, she goes over the top, she just hurts. She hurts you in a lot of ways because she's a matchup nightmare, size-wise. The kid from, I think Hoban's tough. I like Scott. Yeah, I like Scott a lot, and Tekka's back. Emma Tekka's back. She is as wiry and as good in the lane as anyone I've ever coached against. Really?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Tore ACL again.
Again?
That kid can play. And paired up with the Brewer's a senior, right? Yeah, I think it's Lanesia. I mean, 6 foot whatever, can run, jump, shoot, brings the ball up, will run the fast break. There's those kids kind of came to mind, jumped off the page at me. Yeah.
Coach?
Yeah, for us, we're just kind of young and dumb, so we're trying to play arrogant, and we're only looking really at one game. And our hashtag this year, we call it Play 26. And that means we beat Elyria Catholic. And Roxbury is cocky, and he's on Cleveland.com telling everybody he's going to state. And I'm telling my kids to be dumb enough to challenge him and go from there. So I love Coach Rothbury. He's one of my dearest friends in the world. He's got a loaded team with the 6-foot winning twins to great guard and Faith Williams. Reagan Schill's one of the best on-ball defenders that there is. And all I'm saying, for one day, one chance, you never know. And I'm going to teach my kids to be cocky and approach that game like we are the favorites, even though we're not going to be. But we'll take that.
Wow, that's fantastic. Coach Force?
I agree with all the WRC players that were mentioned. A couple others that jump out are Hallie Landis from Chardon, is athletic. I know she's put a lot of time in this off season, so she's poised for a big year. Also, they have Sydney Feller, who's a left-handed shooter out there. And Kenston has a freshman guard. Her last name is Desjarnais. Her dad was an outstanding player at Kenston in the mid to late 90s, I believe. And I think she's going to be a name that we hear a lot of for the next 4 years. So, and then Connie Chaplin over at Euclid, back for her senior year. She's always a load for us to contain. Whether we put, the only question going into the game between me and my assistant is whether we guard her with 2 or 3 girls. So we'll have to figure out how we can do that.
All right, that sounds good. Could stop anybody we haven't talked about.
Yeah, guard from Youngstown Ursuline, going blank with her name, Harris. Yeah, she's just a fine player. And then Hostvar's at West G. We don't play her, but she's a nice player. A kid that transferred to West G from Gilmore. Yeah, Athena. I think that
came over with Coach Butel.
she came in, exactly. Okay. She's a fine player, so she's pretty good too. But yeah, there's a bunch of good ones. St. Vincent St. Mary's has a handful of them. Can't name them all, but they
You
can
see
play.
'em.
I got, yeah, we discriminate them, I can, yeah.
Coach Langley?
I just learned every girl's name in my program, so
He's got plenty for now.
that was my goal before the first game, so I'm way ahead of schedule, so we're doing great.
Okay, all right.
Rick, real quick, yeah, well, first, Connie, I apologize, I should have mentioned you as well, I apologize. Don't take it personal, sweetheart. Best players in the area, this is right. We got Coach Brian here, who's from Warrensville, that just walked
I'm
in.
Courtney Bryant, for those who don't know. It's my first year at Warrensville, who I'm looking forward to play. Nobody right now. I just took over a program, my first year as a head coach. I took over a program, I think they told me the record, Jeter, correct me if I'm wrong, they 0-46 in the last 2 years.
No, that's wrong. We beat Cleveland Heights when I was coaching there, I'm just
Okay,
saying.
so one.
Putting that out there, I did.
One
Give
to
me that.
45, yeah, well, but,
And we won 4 games that season.
we actually getting better. We real young. A lot of it's trying to build a winning culture. But the two teams I look forward to playing is Cleveland Heights, of course. Hannah Hicks is one of the players I watched her develop this spring and summer, and then play Maple Heights. Tiana Green, she didn't develop so much in a post or short corner that plays real well. But right now, honestly, I'm not ready for the season to start. I still got a lot of work to do.
Don't you have a real good guard, coach?
Lamaya.
Pretty talented guard.
Yeah, I got Lamaya forward. Yeah, she's a senior. She's a senior. Yeah, she can play. She can put the ball in the basket. But at the same time, when it comes to playing basketball, like if I play some of y'all good teams, it'd be hard for her. So I'm trying to actually teach her to see the game without forcing things.
Right. Okay.
So, Coach, when you're in the position you are, like you said, you're trying to build that winning culture. What are the kinds of things you tell the girls, after a practice or coming up on a big game? What are some of the things you're trying to stress? Because you don't want to go too far ahead and get them to a place where they're not ready yet.
So our goal, my approach was how I tell them, because a lot of them is very intimidated. They're intimidated at me, first of all. I don't know why, but a lot of them is intimidated, and I tell them you can't be scared to look stupid. So if you're doing something you've never done before, you can't be scared. You may look stupid because you've never done it before. So, we all discuss our weaknesses. We share our weaknesses, so they know everybody in this room have a weakness, so there's nothing to shy away from. And then my next approach, I always tell them, our goal is just to win one game. That's it. For the whole season, our goal is to win one game. And once we win that one game, our goal doesn't change. Our next goal is just to win one game. Don't worry about nothing else but winning one game. I try to talk to them, so I'm coaching them up. It's tough, but it's going.
So it's your first year, but you've got a long history of being a mentor and youth coach, correct? I mean, being involved with different programs in the area. So.
Yeah, I actually started out coaching at St. Stan's Middle School down. It's on the property of Cleveland Central Catholic. So a lot of players that you may know, Coach Stovall was there with me a couple of years when Alexa Hart was at St. Stan's. People don't know. A lot of the players came out of St. Stan's, and then I got offered a job at Cleveland Central Catholic in 2007. That's when Jantel Lavender was a senior, and Coach Art took over, and he added me to the staff. We won the state championship, and then we actually beat Regina in the regional finals. And after that year, Regina offered me, and then I was with Regina up until Regina closed down.
Okay.
And then I just started focusing back on the youth.
Brand new challenge then. Good luck moving
Yeah,
forward here.
coaching high school and winning 2 state championships, and then starting all the way back over, and you might not win a game. Yes, it's
Okay. All right. Anything else, Coach? Or?
Just thank you all. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you guys.
Thanks for hosting.
All right.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Yes.